Okay, it's the 6th of May 2025 and we're here at Queen's Square, I think they call it, yeah, outside the Law Courts in Sydney on Macquarie Street. There's a group here called Protect the Gomeroi or something like that. I should have looked it up a bit better. I looked at it last night. But they're here about, it's about the fracking going on in up near Narrabri. And it's to protect the area from fracking. So they're going to march. They've got a flame apparently, which I can't see, but they're going to take the flame which has come down from Narrabri to they're going to take it to Parliament House, which is across the street a little way down. And there's a reasonable sized crowd. We are Sydney Rising Tide. We stand with the Gomeroi Don't Pillage the Pilliga, and a reasonable number of flags, and I know one of the other groups is called the Knitting Nannas that are here. There'll be various other groups from the left and a few cops, so I don't think it's going to be a street march, but I think they'll just walk them halfway along the street, then cross them over. There's a lock the gate, the Knitting Nannas. Yes, there's quite a few groups. Yeah, so all right, we'll see if there's any speeches at either this end or the other end. We'll follow the march up the street. Alright, so it's called Protect the Pilliga, Stand with the Gomeroi, which is up near Narrabri on the way up towards Moree. And I do believe it's about fracking. I can't see anything. Oh yeah, coal. Is it coal? Something about stop coal expansion. Gomeroi say no, Santos are playing criminals. Yeah, a reasonable number of signs. So it's Stand with the Gomeroi, protect the... So that's the group, I think, that protect Pilliga. They've got, rather than Pilliga. I always thought it was Pilliga. I think maybe that's another way to do it. And you've got various union groups that turned up now. The MUA, the Teachers Fed. Who else? New South Wales. Some other union. And these guys are the ETA, I believe. Yeah, so electricians. I don't see the CFMEU guys, but definitely the Maritime and the Sparkies. And not much happening. I've been here about 15 minutes. The numbers are swelling a little bit. Probably, I don't know, what are you 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, maybe 70? I don't know. Yeah, all right. So it's boring me just chatting, so we'll wait and see if something happens. So that's the MUA. Yeah, what do they got the sign there? We will never surrender. Not quite sure. It's not kind of too relevant for today, but yeah, they got their signage up. And that's it. Alright, the speeches are starting or something. Someone's talking on the microphone.
It's always an honour and a privilege to not only introduce Honey Rhonda, but to stand with her and beside her all the time. I think I've said enough because Honey Rhonda Dixon Grosvenor, if you don't know that name, express myself, young woman, thanks up.
Warami Muji, welcome my friends. Gadigal Nura, the Gadigal land. Walamabimi, Inyana, Viola, Nainala, Pudri Darabarayanu. Welcome to Gadigal land. My people have been here for over 60,000 years, and we're still here. Sovereignty never ceded, always was and always will be Aboriginal land. So unfortunately, in my traditional land, our rivers have been poisoned and all the factories, the muck from the factories and that, like for example, Bulliari, the Cooks River, yeah, you can't swim in there. The mullet go up the river around this time, and then go out to the ocean, and my people are still dragging in the mullet over at Lapa, and my grandson was part of that last time my mob dragged the mullet in. But yeah, it's really hard for us traditional mob. It's going to make me feel better. I'm actually still a sorry business from the loss of my brother. So I really appreciate this smoking too. And I wanted to come here and especially to support the Pilliga mob, Bubbly and others who are here, First Nations mob from the Pilliga. And it's all about, being here and respect for Mother Earth, for the clean water, looking after the waterways, the animals, and being there, because when we look after Mother Earth, she looks after us. And yet even, the farmers know this, and there's farmers here. We're all here together to support each other, because it's so important. We can't keep putting money before the environment, because we need each other. We need to look after and nurture each other. So I come from, my father was a wharfie, Chicka Dixon, and an activist. And I'm walking in his footsteps, and next October we'll be going to China to walk in his footsteps to the Aboriginal delegation over. He's 72, and I'll be going over to walk in his footsteps and get that film. It's very important to keep that, that a political activist journey going and connecting with people and spreading our words of encouragement for the unity of us to look after Mother Earth and for social justice and human rights. So, we stand with the Gomeroi people and to stop this plundering and this destroying of the riverways of Mother Earth. So thank you, and yamu.
We don't want to speak to you too. No. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to march up the street. The police are going to block the road now, and we'll wait for them. I'll get around and I'll smoke as many people as we can before we start to march up the street. Then we'll have speeches up there. This is a healing place from Gomeroi Country. It's Gomeroi, Sandalwood. Colorado Walgett, on that road. It's where my bloodlines come from as well. We're on Mackenzie Doolan, from out of the Pilliga Scrub or Pilliga. It's most important that we all stand together in this fight. Penny Sharp and Carl Scully are still the ones that are yet to approve the lateral west pipeline. Obviously we stop that, and they can't transport the gas from the Pilliga down to Newcastle. So a united front, and I said it before and I'll say it again, you can't have community without unity. It's most important. Every single person has an obligation to not only who's here today, but who's going to come after you. So the reason why I gave my daughters a day off school is because that's why I do it. And I've got 7 daughters and 1 son, so they're going to have kids. So for them to experience and enjoy Gomeroi Country the way that I did and do, obviously it's changed a lot over the last 50 years, that's for sure and certain, but the beauty of it, no matter how much destruction there is, it's always there in that country, and you feel it when you live there or when you visit. I went for a quick trip the other week, and I broke down in Narrabri, and Kevin, Karra didn't come to my aid, but that's okay. The NRMA paid that $20, I'll come out there. But they got me out to Colorado, and it actually worked out that I smoked my cousins while they were there. So they had jumper leads and got me on the road, and a new battery at Moree. I'm just giving you a play-by-play until the police, if you know what I mean. So until they block the street for us, because he's still standing over there with his head on that part. Sort of. Are they doing anything yet? Ted, do you want to sing a song for the crowd before we leave? Lydia said you were going to do it. Shout. No, don't get embarrassed. It's okay. We're good to go. Next time. Dorothy, what's your last speak? Yeah, please. Go. Go back to the script. Turn it into each other. Yeah, that's it. Pick it up. Well, so you did all the players here, you did all the front there. And you ready to the script.
Yeah, at the smoking ceremony, you can bring the fireys out. But they're ready to march, apparently. They're just waiting on an indication from the cops. And there's the cops going that way, the fireys going that way. All right, they are going to march along the road. Apparently they're ready. They're just waiting on the copper to raise his hat. So when he raises his hat, it's an indication to go. His hat's still on his head, so it's not going anywhere at the moment. Maybe whatever that was, they need to fix that up. All right. I can only spot the one politician here today, which is Sue Higginson from Greens in the background there, New South Wales. Greens. All right, we're nearly ready.
No way! We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos! No way! We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos! 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 We're gonna fight you all the way! Always was, always will be! Always was, always will be! Always was, always will be! Aboriginal land! 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 Always was, always will be! Aboriginal land!
Well, there's a yes sign that got a bit of reuse.
We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos, no way! We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos, no way! We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos, no way! We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos, no way! We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos, no way! We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos, no way! We're gonna fight you all the way! Santos!
it looks like they're going to have speeches here outside the Parliament. They've got a truck set up. Here they come. It's a bit harsh on anyone. That traffic would go back for miles now, and it's peak hour in the morning in Sydney, and everyone wants to drive into the city. Anyway, maybe they're going to block off only half the road. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But it is a bad spot here at Parliament House because the footpath is so narrow, and it's been a protest here where it is bordering on dangerous, where people are just about to get run over. Anyway, let's see how she goes.
Camel means no! 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 Camel means no!
Obviously, come and give the Auntie Rhonda, for that wonderful welcome. It's a privilege and honour not only to walk on your country, but to speak on it and to hold ceremony. So I thank you, with all of that Gomeroi goodness that we all have inside of us. Because once you walk with this, you're all Gomeroi. It's a true story. Look, we'll get underway, but first and foremost, I should have done it back there, but I should have introduced myself to this country in my language as Gomeroi fellow, so Yaman Gita Gomeroi winning Gula, go where birds are going to go, Cabin good to go, Gomeroi. If I copy combo, they're all Galame. First up, we have Sewell and Tighe. Now, I started working, with Sewell many years ago, Paddy as well there with GMA, with Grandmas Against Removals, you sort of see the steel, resilience, pride and power in our women, when you do that, when you fight a losing battle, but you still turn up every single day. It's the same as country. When you see there's a problem and you see that legislation and laws are passed, to destroy it, there's never a thought of giving up, and that's what Sewell encompasses. Now, it was a great idea to take it back down there. We took it there a couple of times, but they moved the court up to Brisbane, the Bludgers. But anyway, but we're still going to stand outside it, because the laws they pass up there will carry back here too. So I want to thank you for that suggestion, but should I bring this down? Because you're not coming up. Now, the reason why is because I'm a bulldog and we know how to climb the ladder. Don't worry, you're going to hear bad jokes all about my father of 8.
Yama everyone. You've obviously heard who I am and where I'm from. I'm from Coonabarabran, and I'd like to thank Aunt Robin with all my heart for her welcome to country, and thank you very much. Also thank her for giving me permission to think and speak Gomeroi language on her country, so thank you for that. So I'll start out with acknowledging that my community, small community of northwestern New South Wales, is currently in a state of sorrow because of people have no doubt seen what's on the news, but we've also had the passing of an elder in my community. So it's with great respect and honour that I paint up with ochre today in respect of those and the sorry business of my community, and also to acknowledge that people of Coonabarabran are intensely strong, and we will rise from this and we'll become stronger because of it and from it. So we will rise and be ever more powerful as Gomeroi people, but also powerful for Australians, because we are not only fighting for ourselves, we are fighting for Australia. And congratulations to all the Gomeroi mob who've taken the time to stand up, the energy, the expense, and also looking at how we've travelled through many different countries to come here today, and we've drawn strength from each one of those Aboriginal nations that we've passed through to be here today. So thank you for that. I just want to say, first of all, start out with the language is like Gagalana Gunima Nginona. Gagalana Gunima Nginona. Gagalana Gunima Nginona. So what that that is saying, translate that for you, is Mother Earth is calling you. Mother Earth is talking to you and speaking to you with expediency to stop what's happening to the nature of and the environment in this country, which is the desolation and destruction. There has not been one day in this colonised country of Australia since the landing of the first fleet where there hasn't been a tree cut down or someone's country dug up. And that is Australia's shame. Our politicians who've been voted in again, who have not changed their stance on the environment, might I add, they need to heed that. It's been over 65,000 days this nation has tore up country and destroyed the environment. Just think on that for a minute. Sorry, I'll say that again, I think it's a number wrong there, but edit that bit out of anyone's video. It's been over 86,000 days of destruction. Ponder on that. That's every day since the landing of the first fleet. Now that's humongous. That is what our previous governments, that is what our current governments and our newly, secondly elected second term, are about to do again. They're about to maintain that tradition of destroying environment and destruction of Aboriginal people's rights and their country. And that needs to stop. So we need to think on that, because Gomeroi rights and Aboriginal rights, First Nations rights are everybody's rights. Everybody's rights. So, thinking along that line, as you stand here, and I know that there are new faces as well as some old faces, and congratulations for making that trek to get here. Congratulations for standing up for your country, for my country, for Aboriginal people, and for yourselves. Don't forget you're standing for yourselves as well. So we want you to stand with us, and we're hoping that this will continue. We're hoping that, it's a hope. We're hoping that the Native Title Tribunal will see reason. I don't have a great deal of faith within that system, but there's always a chance, and we pray and we hope for that chance that they will see reason. It's very important that the Pilliga is saved because it sits atop the Great Artesian Basin. It is a very, very important water source for indeed New South Wales and Queensland, stretching down towards and into Victoria. So we need to save that. The Murray-Darling Basin is a part of that. So what we need to understand is the atrocious way that they're treating the Great Artesian Basin and the Murray-Darling Basin that's the policies and the destruction of our government, where they've let the financial bottom line and the profit margins of big companies dictate what the Australian people want. And what we want is longevity. We want the environment. We want to live in a safe world. We want our future generations to grow up in a world where they do not have to continue down the same path that we have. We want a legacy to our future generations of one that we stood our ground and we fought, but we want our future generations to benefit from that fight. Although they are prepared, as we see today, they are prepared to continue the fight. So this government and future governments need to know that we aren't going away. We are still here, and today is evidence of it. We've got the generations coming up with us and behind us now who will continue the fight if need be. But this government and any future governments need to realise that we are still going to fight this fight. Yes. We are in this for the long haul. We're not here as a short spurt in time. We are here to maintain this solidarity and maintain the fight that is for all Australians. Yes, Gomeroi, it is our country that's being affected, but it's not only us who will be affected. All that gas that will come out there is going to add to the emissions. No matter how Santos and the government try to disguise and hide those numbers, it is going to add to the emissions. And having scope 3 where it doesn't count if we sell it to someone else, that is Australia's shame as well. We're not taking it. Who cares if we sell it on? Because we are responsible for that. Yes. And that is another deep sorrow for those people in Gomeroi Country, is that we feel that. We feel that knowing that fossil fuels are the reasons why the Pacific Islands are flooding and going underwater. We feel that because we know that the gas they plan to extract from Pilliga is going to contribute to that, and more likely other fossil fuel that has been extracted from our country has contributed to that already. We feel that sorrow, we feel affiliation with those people in the Pacific Islands. And on behalf of Gomeroi people who couldn't make it today, and those who are in sorry business, I express heartfelt thanks to everybody who's turned up here today, everybody who's turned up in the past, and I wish with all my heart that Gomeroi seizes the day in the Native Title Tribunal and sets a precedence where climate change is considered within the native title and it's given the grounds it needs to. But importantly, even though climate change is important, we need to understand that both the native title and the federal court double down on the unimportance of cultural connection to place. While the climate change argument won the day in the federal court, they doubled down on how insignificant culture is. And that is to Australia's shame, because you keep profiteering off our cultures in this country, and that needs to stop. So again, I will say, Gagalana Gunima Ngenuna. Gagalana Gunima Ngenuna. Gagalana Gunima Ngenuna. Mother Earth is calling you. Answer the call.
Can we all move everybody into this club late, please? We're going to open that up in a minute. Even though we've got our nurses and midwives here from the union. They took the time off work today, so let's move in. Let's not make it easy for... I drive in Sydney every day, they're always in a hurry. They don't care if you don't trust me on that. We don't want no injuries, so Jim, come in this way, Jim, come on. No, you're long enough here, mate. Come in. That's it, we've got one lane. Excellent. Look up. Thank you, Sue Ellen. The one thing that we certainly do know, and have seen all of our lives, right in my only 54 years, is that no one listens. You know, so when Gomeroi people or any other black person talks to you, listen, because we are the experts, not only about our existence, but about our country. When we talk to you, we're telling you the story of our country, of our power from Gomeroi. Take the yard from here today, don't own it, share it. Share it with other people, around the dinner table. And tell those private deniers to... Anyway, next we have Jacqui Scruby. So Jacqui, or the Honourable, I should say, sorry Jacqui, is a Pittwater mum. She's also a former small business owner and lawyer who is passionate about representing our community. Jacqui is an independent member for Pittwater in the New South Wales Parliament. Is she here? No worries. Well, I see the old mate over the back there trying to sneak in, but I saw you. It's okay. Nick, I asked her where was Vanessa, because I thought she was late. But we'll get, look, one person who has always opened up the door and given her time to come out here to talk against, you know, the New South Wales Government. Obviously, I want to inform you all that in that National Native Title Tribunal, the New South Wales Government are sitting opposite the table against the Gomeroi people with Santos. Okay, so respect these two clowns inside here, Scully and Sharp there. I don't want to swear because my 3 kids are close. Jeez, I was close. It was like right here. But look, Sue Higginson is a Greens member on the upper house. Back in the day, she graduated from law, first class honours, and awarded to the University of Penrith upon graduation. She then practiced as a public interest environment lawyer. I was a principal solicitor and CEO of the EDO, I'm just going to say. She joins us today to speak on behalf of the Greens, but not only that, on behalf of herself. Yeah, well, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Bubbly. Thank you very much. Hello, good people. Thank you so much for hearing the call of country that the incredible Sue Ellen has just reminded us. That's what brings you all here today. I stand here and acknowledge that I am here on Gadigal land. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. This is unceded country. Folks, you know why you're here. You also know we just had a federal election. We elected people to represent us. We know it was a massive triumph over the politics of hate and division and tyranny and the Trumpisms. We have won out, all of us together. But remember, folks, we put them in there, but the power is always here with you, the people. It is unbelievable, folks, that we are still here today fighting that filthy Santos gas Pilliga project. The project in one of the most unbelievably incredible, important, fragile ecosystem in this state. It is an ecosystem that you have heard Sue Ellen speak about in terms of the value, the protection that is needed, the function of the Pilliga Forest. I have had the incredible privilege and benefit to go on country with Sue Ellen and other Gomeroi elders who are fighting to protect that country. In no uncertain terms, that country speaks, that country is screaming for your help, and that country is rejecting Santos's absurd, despicable, violating plans for that country. We cannot let the Narrabri Gas Project go ahead in the Pilliga. Already, Santos has done too much damage in there. When I was at the EDO with community, we took Santos to court twice, we appealed the loss, and we tried so hard. But the legal system did not respond. It did not listen to the people, and the people did not prevail in that court system. It is incredible what the Gomeroi have achieved so far. The Gomeroi are standing strong for the past, for the present, for the future, for all of us. And the fact that they have managed to get climate change as a consideration before the tribunal is nothing short of amazing. We celebrate, salute, and we stand with you, the Gomeroi, and we will always stand with the Gomeroi. But folks, whatever the tribunal outcome, we need to hold this one fact, this one truth, that right now, the Labor government here in this place under Chris Minns, the Labor government in the other place in Canberra, now under Anthony Albanese, with the Greens in this place and the Greens in that place, we have the power to stop the absurdity that is the Santos gas project in the Pilliga. They have the power, they have our support to stop this project. So please, folks, you must remember this. Don't stop telling the New South Wales Labor government and the federal new Labor government, you have the power, there is no more excuses, you can stop this project. That, remember folks, the former Chief Scientist of Australia called this project a climate bomb. Hear those words, folks, a climate bomb. Our former Chief Scientist of this country screaming, ringing the alarm bells. Don't let this happen. Don't let this happen. We know what it means for this country, for our people. It is so destructive. We don't need this project. There's no money in the project. There's no consent, and the Gomeroi, we stand with you today, we will stand with you tomorrow, and we will win. We will defeat Santos in the Pilliga. Stay strong, folks.
Just like Jacqui and I wanted to make an entrance. Obviously, I've already introduced Jacqui. I guess the boys here are going to test. So, vintage. Well, don't worry, I know those. That's my name. 54 years of playing sports. It doesn't. But it's an honour and a privilege, obviously, to speak on behalf of not only yourself, but Gomeroi and our country today. So, whether I've already said who you were, so when I talk my daughters all the time, I hate repeating myself. So.
I might repeat. I'll repeat my answer if I know.
Thank you for having me today. So my name's Jacqui Scruby. I'm a member of the Pittwater, independent member. A huge thank you to the Gomeroi people and everything that you have done up to date. As was just mentioned, the fight that you have put up has been phenomenal. Look, my community of Pittwater is nowhere near regional New South Wales, it's on the coast. But we recently, as a community, thought drilling for oil and gas off our coastline with the PEP 11 permit. And that permit is no longer. So that's a huge community activation, a lot of political pressure, and it actually led in from a New South Wales perspective to New South Wales leading with historic legislation banning drilling for oil and gas off our coastline, which was the first state in Australia to do that. So that shows the power of community. And as the member for Pittwater, I stand here supporting the Gomeroi people as well in your fight against Santos's project. And I know it's not only you, but I've even spoken to farmers out in the Liverpool Plains that also are joining you in your fight against Santos's project. Because I know in Pittwater what we want for us, we also want for other areas of New South Wales. When it comes to your fight, and particularly in the tribunal, thinking about what is important for public interest, the decision is absolutely correct that we need to be considering climate change and climate risk as part of any public interest test when we're considering decisions when it comes to native title, but also decisions for New South Wales that relate to any new coal and gas projects. So I stand with you today. I'm here in New South Wales Parliament now, putting pressure on the New South Wales Government. We must recognise that we are not meeting our emissions reduction targets, and it makes absolutely no sense to be on one hand not meeting our emissions reduction targets and on the other hand working to support projects that have been described by everyone, whether it's scientists or politicians, as a real climate bomb. So climate risk is one of the biggest challenges facing New South Wales, and as a Member of Parliament now, we're putting pressure on the government to explore different ways. We don't need new gas. We need to follow jurisdictions like Victoria who have no new gas in homes. We need to be looking at ways to reduce demand. We have enough gas already and we don't need this project. So I'm with you and Pittwater is with you on this massive fight that you have on your hands. Congratulations for everything you've done today.
Thank you for taking the time out of your day, Jacqui, to have a good yard with us. And obviously, we move on to our next speaker. Maybe this is only my second time being this MC, so I've got to ramble and stuff like that. I'm sorry about that. But I do tell people all the time, give me a microphone, I'll talk for 3 hours. There's a couple of good jokes in there, especially from my good friend, East of Peter Barrowman. Look, next one up is Vanessa Seagrove. Vanessa is Assistant Secretary of Unions, New South Wales, which is tirelessly back Gomeroi people in a fight to protect people, country, cultural climate from the Narrabri Gas Project. Vanessa chairs the Unions, New South Wales Pilliga Campaign Committee. Look, the one thing that we wanted to do, and I was saying this for 10 years, You know, you can't talk about climate change if you don't actually go and see when people are affected on the front line with that. So Vanessa and union members have actually gone to our country and had a look and immersed themselves with people on our country. You know, you can't talk about things if you don't see it in your eyes. Pictures don't paint the whole story. You know, and you know, the kilometres don't make up the journey in your life. Remember that. You know, it's what you do within that time. You know, so Gomeroi is a very welcoming country, and a welcome you with its arms. You know, as Cyril said before, the good enough, you know, Mother Earth. You know, she'll open up her arms and she'll welcome you to our country. It's beautiful. You know, so without further ado, Vanessa Seagrove.
Thanks, Bubbly. Hey everyone, and thanks for coming out today. Really appreciate the support. We're here today on the Gadigal lands of the Eora Nation, and I pay my respects to Elders past, present and emerging. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. And when giving a speech the other day for May Day, actually, when recognising land, accidentally said Gomeroi, because Gomeroi is on my brain all the time, and I stand with Gomeroi in this fight. A couple of years ago, unions took the decision to stand with Gomeroi people in the fight for their land in the Pilliga. We are here today because we know the importance of protecting land, and we thank the Gomeroi people for taking the stance that they have for many, many, many years to protect the land that we need, we all need. So thank you to Gomeroi for looking after the land. This Friday, we understand that there will be a decision handed down by the Native Title Tribunal. And when we started this fight, we didn't think that we'd get the outcomes that we did in the Native Title Tribunal. Well, we did think that, but we also thought when it went to appeal at the federal court that we wouldn't get the outcome that happened there. But it did. And so let's hope, fingers crossed, this Friday, the Native Title Tribunal does the right thing and awards the land to the Gomeroi people as it should do. As mentioned by Bubbly, many of us have toured the Pilliga, led by the great Cyril, who has shown us the importance of this land, of all of the lands that are there, and the deep cultural history, and all of the different species that we know rely on this land as well. We know how flammable it is. We know that we've seen a number of bushfires in this area, and imagine adding to that 850 gas wells. Absolutely disgraceful. Let alone the fact that we know how important water is. And the Great Artesian Basin sits right underneath the Pilliga. We cannot live without water. We cannot keep drilling into these grounds and expect that we've got things to eat and to drink. And we need that more than we need bloody gas. So being here today, I also want to make mention, as I mentioned to Cyril a minute ago, it also happens to be my 50th birthday on Friday. So if I could ask the Native Title Tribunal to award me a gift, it would be that they look after the lands of the Pilliga. As the union movement, we will continue to stand with the Gomeroi people in their fight for their lands, now and beyond Friday, to make sure that it stays protected and looked after for the Gomeroi Nation for years to come. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Vanessa. I was in Park Ego before she did it. But we're out now. Full story. I want to give a shout out actually to the boys at the back end of the ETU. Okay, when we started this year, I came and I think Michael was the boss back then. It was about 4 or 5 years ago now. Maybe before I went to jail and got out. That's okay. He's still here, just like me. Keep coming back. Knitting Nannas, always. Where's the old mate there? There she is. Been out to Pilliga Forest a few times and sit on a cup of tea, and mine takes 14, Benny Tooth takes 1. So it's a good game. Always good to see you here, Brent. And look, every other person that came out today. So it's a pleasure to see all of you. Old faces, new faces. Santos AGM. Good to see you come back like a Gomeroi. And don't worry about my old brother over the back here. I'll give a shout out to people, so I've got to do this as we go. I don't know how cold it is today, Andy, but fucking green and beating on your head, but you're always my brother. Always. Always. I can tell you the story about when we first met me and that young brother. He was shit scared. It was a cold day and the windows were fogged. But he went to see the uni and we wanted to do some stuff with them. Come to Gomeroi Country. So we jumped in the car and the rest is history. We used to leave here in Sydney at 12 o'clock at night and get to Narrabri by 7, and cappuccino with a couple of extra shots was always on the menu first. Can I get a cappuccino, please, mate? Oh, there was a bloke in front of us, that's how he sounded when he ordered it. We both started laughing. I put on my phone voice when I ordered more, obviously. But look, next, I was going to say Michael waits for no one, but you had to wait for my remedy. Michael is the Assistant General Secretary of the New South Wales Nurses and Midwives Association. We are very grateful for the support of this mighty organisation and thank Michael and the nurses and midwives for supporting us today. Now, Michelle Couple's not here today, but she's a union member too. We just travelled over to Adelaide to the Santos AGM, and I'm going to give a shout out to our mate Peggy over here, and we had some good yards, good feeds and everything, you know. A lot of people do the work in the background to make these things happen, you know, and Peggy's one of them, you know, and obviously Michael, Paddy, I don't know about Wizard, Nick Clyde, I can't see his hero, but hope there any was moved. But anyway, we'll bring Michael up so we can have a go. I'm talking too much, I'm sure. But I've got to get to I first want to thank Auntie Rhonda for her welcome to country and remind all of us that welcome to country is an important and significant thing that absolutely must continue. The people that are arguing against welcome to country and acknowledgement of country are the same fascists that are demanding more fossil fuel, and it is both of those things that we stand against here. I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are here today, Gadigal land. I was fortunate enough to be born and raised on Durrag land. I now work, live and play on Gadigal land, and we are absolutely humbled to be invited by the Gomeroi to come and help and speak out against the gas fields that are proposed by Santos. When nurses and midwives come to rallies like this, we come for two reasons, two very important reasons. First of all, at the beginning of all of our meetings, we stand up and we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, and we acknowledge their ongoing connections to the land, waters and culture. And you can't make a statement like that without standing by it and joining actions like this today. Our words must not be shallow, our words must mean something. For nurses and midwives, we understand the deep connection for that culture, land and water, and the impact that that has on people's health, people's physical and mental health. And so the very importance of making sure that we respect the request of the elders of that land in saying no to gas mining and saying no to the further pollution of that land and that water and the deterioration of that culture, we must respect that. Yeah.
We respect it as healthcare professionals, we respect it as human beings. The other reason we stand here today in solidarity with all of you is because of the impact on health of climate change. We know as the planet warms and as we see more and more water coming into the system because of that warming environment, we see increased respiratory diseases, we see increased cardiovascular diseases, we see increase in mental health diseases. We see the deterioration in the quality of our land, our food and our water. As healthcare professionals, we must stand against that. And so for those two reasons, we are very proud to stand here with you today in solidarity, and we call on the Labor government to do the right thing. Both at the federal and state level, the people have spoken. Now they must be bold with that voice. They must not sit down quietly and do what the fascists want them to do. They must stand up for the people wherever they are, whoever they are, for the health of the nation and for the health of the cultures. I want to finish by saying we learned today that Mother Nature is calling and that we must listen. I want to assure you that the New South Wales Nurses and Midwives Association is listening, and when you call, we will come as we have today and as we have every time you come to fight against Santos. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you all the nurses and midwives. See the flags over that. Take it easy, mate. Peggy, you're lucky. Peggy expects me to be a smart aleck all the time, but I made a bit soft. Michelle's not here, so there's no pun. I don't know if Kino's here. I was looking forward to seeing Kino. He's always had another level. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let Vanessa introduce himself. I was going to grab Shay over there and throw him in the deep end for a yarn, but I've been told by that smile the deep end will put the load above him. So Russell gave me the nod, sorry about the an argument that I used to have years ago with a lot of people around January 26 and sort of other days was I'd say, you swear a lot. And I say, yeah, because there's no swear words in my language, buddy, so I'm going to use yours against it. So if I do swear, yeah, that's why. Because we have no swear words in Gomeroi. So we're not none. We only got love, G, our heart, our doing, our spirit. So this is Russell, and he'll give you a rundown of who he is and why he's here today. Awesome. Let's get it, brother. Sweet.
That's right. Love it.
Start that chainsaw watch today. Well, we're going to bit of a break. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Karra up here, because she looks like she's coming at the bit there. Karra is in Narrabri. So if you haven't been up there and all the marketing and stuff like that, you know that Santos brought into the community. We've had many a conversation about, look, just stay on the pastures. You know what I mean? If you don't stand for something, then you're going to lay down for everything else. You know, obviously what's worth standing up for. You know, and when they first came to Tighe, we sort of kicked them out of it. You know, and they went down there and, you know, the Lauk and the Shire, they accommodated everything that Santos got out of, you know, with money, obviously. And, you know, when you got none, you know, you're not brought into, you know, generational wealth, And the only thing that you got is your drive, resilience, and your love for your country. And that's what Karra has. You know, and I'm glad that she's in the fight. You know what I mean? And sort of, I'm glad we're in it together. You know, and the one thing that I never become disillusioned, I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because I've got people behind me who won't even hear you, who won't even hear. You know, they'll kick me up my arse if you want to keep me fucking going. You know, I marched on these streets in the late 70s and early 80s, you know, to get out there so that we could look after them. You know, in 6 or 7 generations of destruction of our country, and this is all across the whole continent, you know, that's happened and can only be looked after and tended to for the next 100,000 years. It was given back to us, to our control, you know. And so, us as Gomeroi, if we win this on Friday, it will be history making. But this isn't the last one. They're still doing it, you know. Labour, when they came in, they approved 113 gas projects. You know, all over the country. You know, I had a Zoom with my brother up in Gomeroi last week. You know, we want to go there and help them too after here. You know, to make sure that they feel supported. You know, so the front row in India, remember in 1988 when they had the big march here. People got here, we didn't even have mobile phones, money, nothing. But people jumped in buses from their community and drove from as far as Darwin, as far as Bubbly, Perth, to get here. You know? So that's what we've got to do, alright? Keep that resolve, fill your spiritual cup. No Karra's here. Oh, Jeremy's finally turned up. Probably having a coke out the back. Don't worry, I know it's medicinal. Good to see you again, mate. So obviously this is Jeremy Buckingham. He's in the upper house as the leader of the legalised cannabis party. He's also the chair of the New South Wales Parliament's Joint Standing Committee on Net Zero Future, and we welcome you here today to say a few words. Thanks, Jeremy.
Very much, everyone. Thank you for your continued resistance, and thank you to the Gomeroi Nation. I'd like to acknowledge their long, proud resistance to this crazy proposal for coal seam gas in the Pilliga, and their stewardship of this land for generations going back. It is an incredibly important ecological and cultural asset, the Pilliga, an absolutely fundamental part of our biodiversity, our precious groundwater, and of course invaluable to the cultural life of the Gomeroi people and the people of Australia. It has to be protected. In an age of climate change, it's absolute madness for climate impacts not to be considered in the public interest test. The Gomeroi have led that fight. They have taken it up. It's now up to the tribunal to recognise the science, recognise that we've got to move beyond fossil fuels. In an age of climate emergency, we need to keep gas and coal in the ground, and the message has never been louder, never been louder. Look at the election just 3 days ago. Peter Dutton, no bigger friend of the gas industry. An absolute shill of the gas industry, turfed out, doing Gina Rinehart's bidding. So the message to government is no new gas, no new coal. The message to the tribunal is respect the will of the Gomeroi people, the people of Australia. We want to keep gas in the ground, coal in the ground. I'll be fighting in Parliament every day to prohibit coal seam gas. I've been doing it now for far too long. I'm raising the issue on the Joint Standing Committee on Net Zero. The Net Zero Commission, everyone, the Productivity Commission, they have all said we cannot meet our climate targets and start letting methane off into the atmosphere. So no coal seam gas. Let's stand with the Gomeroi. Let's move to a net zero future. Let's do it right now. Thank you, everyone.
Maybe the bar has taken the shot already. Let me get cracking. We're already one fucking over from both. I want to share a quick story with you before I bring Karra and that pertains to Gomeroi women. So I'm about to introduce my great-grandmother. She was born in Angledoor. So when they closed that, they took her to Brewarra. So she married my great-grandfather, who was a white guy from Sussex in England. He, obviously back then it was terrible, you weren't allowed to marry black and white. You weren't allowed to, it was against the law. They actually took her from Pilliga back to Brewarra. She walked 200 kilometres along the Barwon River to be with her husband. So what they did, when he died, they burnt the glass and did his grave traditional way, and they called it Weatherall. If anyone sees the websites out there, that's what they did. Women burned the glass. I talk about that, it's because of a Gomeroi woman's love. Not only for their family, but for their country. You see, our DNA is in that land. We talk about at my house, the belly buttons to belly buttons that these guys come from. 1 million, not 80,000 years, or 60,000, beginning of time. When our Creator Buddha gave us consciousness, when he gave us our law, his 5 ways. Those stories are in that land. Every single Gomeroi person that you see here today, they tell the story of our country, the love that we have for that. When Auntie Raymond gets up this morning there and she welcomes you to country, all of the stuff that happens and still happens to Aboriginal people, they are still humble and loving to welcome. Remember that. Don't worry about all that noise on the outside, you know, because they're too stupid to get out of the room fucking road. You know, me and my good old mate up with Ken Kenny, knuckle dragging the Neanderthals will never listen to you. Because they haven't got the capacity to do that, or the love in their heart. Because that's why every single one of you are here today. Because you love country, you love blackfellas, and we love you too. I didn't meet you, I don't know you, but I love the fact that you're here. On a spiritual sense, I love you. That is how I live my life. A symbiotic way of doing things. You do good by me and I'll do good by you. And what does that do? Like throwing a pebble in a pond that fills out so that we can do good by every single person that lives on this continent. You know, I'm not going to talk about the artesian basin because it's under threat, you know, because I'm about to break a record talking about that over the past 10 years, you know, and there's enough information out there for people to go. But the one thing today, when you listen to these people who talk from their heart and spirit, Karra must have been on my stalker, but you won't be right. So, Karra, come back now. Come back, Karra. That's your turn, sis. There you go.
I know a lot of you here, but I'll introduce myself. I'm Karra, Gomeroi Traditional Custodian from Narrabri. I also work for the Gate and Knitting Nannas. And just what I do. So I'm just me. I'm Karra from Narrabri. I'm a Gomeroi woman. I'm a community member. I'm a unionist of the unions now. And I work with all you guys in the environment groups, and we need to sit at every table. So I've been doing that. And I just want to thank everyone for coming here today. We've been working on this for a long time. And I've lost my little note. But it's not much. So my work has been around telling people the impacts of the mines on our country. You know, and what we need is we need grassroots people who are feeling this, and I think that supporting Gomeroi, supporting us grassroots people who are is successful. We can see that through the native title, we can see that through our rights and interests being heard all over Australia, all over the world, which is amazing. The Narrabri Gas Project is a very big project all over Australia, and the government think that they can push forward, scaring us, all so they can profit. So part of what I do is storytelling, and I'm so honoured to have Uncle Raymond, Weatherall, Auntie Sue Ellen, our Gomeroi nurses, our Gomeroi education to come here and tell a story about how strong we are, how solid we are, and how we're going to keep up the fight against Santos. And with that, we've got all of our solidarity groups here, and we are fighting together, solidarity together. As Sue Ellen said earlier today, that we work for all of our human rights, and that's our water. And what we've been gifted today is this artwork of the Great Artesian Basin from Gomeroi Macquarie, which expresses our connection and our connectivity. And if you can see the artwork, you can see all the layers and all the layers and all the flow, and how we're all connected on top of the Great Artesian Basin. And I just really like having this here today, and we're going to thank Gomeroi for gifting it to us, but also remembering that why we're all here, and the solidarity, and water is life. And we've got the writing on the back, with the water family. So we're all together, we're here in this together, and that we can stop the Narrabri Gas Project and teach the government, I don't know, how to act right, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, and if anybody wants a shirt, see Nick Clyde. Yep, Nick Clyde, yes, he's good. And also, we're wrapping up, so thank you so much, everyone. Once Raymond finishes up, we'll get everybody over to photo. Yeah, up against the fence, we'll get a photo.
In the activist circle is people sort of perhaps get a vicarious trauma, and then they go away, but they don't actually help themselves to refill it, because of the environment so you're in. So every single day when you go to bed with good thoughts, and you wake up with good thoughts, have good dreams. They do some sandalwood in the incense. Run it, put it through your house. It's great to smell. It'll calm you. For us, for you fellas to come here, whilst you can all start moving across there for the photo, and I'll just keep talking, but maybe that's part of it, okay? So that way you're not standing out in the middle of the road,
They're just winding it up now. They're going to have a photo before they reopen the road.